ABC24 This Week starts right now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on ABC24 This Week. I am your host, Pepper Baker. You are here for the real stories behind the big stories, and I hope you'll continue to join us every Sunday at 9 a.m., 10:35 p.m., or on 24+. All right, let's see who is at the table today. As always, ABC24 political analyst Otis Sanford. We have Scott McCormick, former Memphis City Council Chair and former Shelby County Schools Board member. Woo! And Pastor Keith Norman of First Baptist Church Broad. I'm really excited about this show. I don't know if you can tell. All right, let's get to the topics. First, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris is trying to get the commission to help MSCS sue the state intervention legislation. Second, a Memphis high schooler's immigration case. We'll get into that. Plus, Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis choosing not to publicly address the No Kings protest confrontation. And lastly, a Supreme Court ruling on a congressional district in Louisiana sparked Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn's proposal to turn Tennessee completely red. And it is the last show before primary elections. We know that we should be addressing that, but we just have a jam-packed show, so let's get to number one. Legislation for the state intervention of Memphis Shelby County Schools is awaiting Tennessee Governor Bill Lee's signature. The Oversight Board will consist of 9 members, 8 of whom will be from Shelby County, appointed by the governor, both the Senate and House speakers. They will have authority over the budget, contracts, staffing, and academic needs. The governor signed a bill blocking MSCS from using taxpayer money to sue the state intervention legislation. This week, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris planned to ask commissioners to give MSCS $200,000 to fund that lawsuit. Here's what he said after commissioners rejected in a 7-5 vote to add the resolution discussion to the agenda, followed by the two faces of the state intervention, Senator Brent Taylor and Representative Mark White's response.
The state has already passed legislation to say that their votes are meaningless, that the election that's going on right now for the Memphis Shelby County school system has no meaning whatsoever, and they've also taken additional efforts to prevent the school system from getting into court. And so this was to start a debate about, how do we get the school system into the courtroom? How do we get them access to justice? How do we make sure they get heard? And so, we have some, Brittany Thornton is always, kind of a problem up here, always kind of, anti what's going on in the community. And then we had a strategic absence, but we'll be back. So it's all good. We'll be back and we'll do it again.
Every single dime of your property taxes is going to fund a $200,000 lawsuit to try to stop an improvement plan that will improve education. And they're defending the status quo, which the status quo is 75% of the kids graduating from high school cannot read or write. That's what they're defending with your property tax dollars, my property tax dollars, and Memphians ought to be outraged.
Accountability, that is our responsibility as state legislatures. If we don't do what we're doing, then we are failing the people of Tennessee, because it is our constitutional authority to make sure that we have accountability measures in place. So we're not going to send a district $900 million and then them take millions of that to sue us on the things that we think are accountability measures.
All right, so a lot to unpack here, but it is important to note that Commissioner Mikkel Lowry, who is also running for Shelby County Mayor, proposed the add-on resolution, or to add on to the agenda for Mayor Harris to bring up the lawsuit. And then Brittany Thornton, who is running for County Clerk, was one of the 7 votes against adding it to the agenda. Harris insinuated that the strategic absence, to reporters, he insinuated that it had to do with Commissioner Whaley not being there. Otis, I'll let you start us off here.
Well, obviously, where Lee Harris is concerned, he's not running for any office right now. He's term limited. He has nothing to lose here. And he's always, for the last several months and over a year, he's been at odds with people from state government, the governor, and of course, people in the legislature. So I'm not surprised to see what he's doing here. He's standing up for, as he said in that piece, he's standing up for the school board's right to be heard in a court of law. And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. Right. So we'll see where it goes when it comes back around. It'll be after the election when it comes back around. So maybe Whaley win or lose, maybe Lowry win or lose, maybe even Thornton win or lose, because I don't think Thornton's going to go for this anyway. But we'll see what happens legislatively in the commission after the election. But I think Harris has a point here. The school board has a right to be heard.
And Scott, I want to ask you this because in that interview with Senator Taylor, he had the stack of papers, which was the outcome of Mayor Harris's attempt to try to get the National Guard overturned, or the decision for Governor Bill Lee to deploy the National Guard to Memphis. But he said it would turn out to be the same outcome, which is the fact that the National Guard is staying in Memphis. Do you think that will happen here?
I do. I understand he wants to pursue his avenue of in the courts, but I don't think it'll go anywhere. I think the task force, or what do we call it, the intervention force,
Takeover.
Takeover. Well, no.
Intervention.
Intervention is coming.
Depends on who you ask.
And I agree with the philosophy of, it's time for a change. I mean, we've got to take a different approach. I don't know that this is going to work, but I don't see where it's going to hurt. Certainly we're not going to do any worse than we're doing. We have got to move the needle with these children. They keep pointing out 75% of the children don't read on grade level. We've got to make improvements, and I think this lawsuit is just going to be a waste of time, and let's just see what this new board can do.
Pastor Norman, when they're blocking taxpayer funds to go towards getting outside counsel to challenge this, does this feel like, the powers that be who are blocking this, taking away their right to sue?
Feels like a very dangerous and slippery slope. We use taxpayer funds to defend criminals with public defenders. And so when we take away the right to bring an issue forward and to give your day in court, and then we cloud the conversation with all of the rhetoric that we're hearing from Brent, we can shift the narrative. One day it's about an audit, the next day it's about grades that haven't been made and the performance of students. By the way, that's the first time I've heard that in this whole argument, because this has always been about some form of malfeasance and counting the dollars and money. But now it's about performance of students, which it should have been about all the time. I think when you take away the fundamental right of people to get items in the court and in the air for discussion, for understanding, that's where you have all of this confusion. This has gone back and forth. The county commission sends, first of all, a vote of no confidence against the school board. And then now we're back saying we're going to support you to go and sue for your rights. It's crazy right now. And so where do people get energy to hop in and fix the problem? And then now you're saying the governor signs a law the day before, you can't sue. And then even when we vote to give our own dollars from the county commission, we have county commissioners who are saying we're not going to support it and put it on the agenda. We're just going to hand this decision down. End of subject. You got to swallow it just like it is.
And to Keith's point here, I heard Brent Taylor complaining about $200,000 lawsuit, which is kind of rich when they spent $6 million on an audit that found $1 million in illegal, improper spending, and another $1.7 million in just some procedural things.
But that's only 25% of the audit is done.
Well, but the $6 million is not the end of it either.
So it can cost more, is what you're saying.
Well, no, I was there for 6 years, and there is a lot of waste. I'm not saying it's all mismanagement, or it's just there's a lot of waste in that budget. And how you spend the dollars, if you're not wasting the dollars and you're able to channel into better teaching programs, raises for teachers, that's what's going to move the needle on our students reaching the levels where they need to be.
Yeah, but my point is, Scott, that don't complain about spending $200,000 in taxpayer money for something that they feel that their rights are being violated and they are elected officials.
This is the fundamental right to take away the voice of an electorate and the people to at least be heard. This is the same thing that we're going to hear in a later argument on this same program. Taking away the voice of a people.
And to Keith's point about the issue over, at first, the audit, you were talking about financial issues.
Exactly.
And I think somebody probably told the legislators and the governor, well, you didn't say anything about academic performance and all of that long dog and pony.
But managing the financial issues is how you put the resources to the students.
Well, they didn't say that. They didn't say that.
Well, they didn't ask me.
Well, right.
And spending $200,000 is not going to harm getting sunlight to this issue so that we can help move it forward. It's not going to change. We want to improve our school system, but we need to understand the facts. And right now, if we're honest and clear about it, nobody knows the mission, nobody knows what success will look like in 4 years, nobody knows the plan of retreat. This is an Afghanistan war taking place right here in Memphis.
Pepper asked me, will this course of action be any different than the course of action taken against the National Guard? And I said, no, it'll be the same result. They can spend the $200,000,
right.
but at the end of the day, this intervention force is going to be here, and we should just look and try to make the best out of that.
Well, you might be right, but that still doesn't mean that they shouldn't have an opportunity to be heard.
Well,
and that's all.
On one hand, $200,000 for the proposal now, but to your point, if it continues on, does it become more money spent then? Could it turn into millions to try to have a legal case here?
I don't think it has to turn into millions. I think you stay within the set boundaries that the commission was voting on. Let's get the facts of this out in front of people. I think people can better accept outcomes when they understand process. And right now, nobody understands process. How did we get here, and why are we here? What do we need to know? And then what will you say to us are the end results that we need to hold the 9-member board accountable to?
But the law that they passed says you can't use public funds. It didn't say you can't use school board funds. It says you can't use public funds. And the county commission is public funds that would fund this lawsuit. I think the only way around it that they'll be able to fund the lawsuit is through private investment.
And so, Scott, I want to talk about elections here because 4 seats on the school board are up for primaries on MSCS's board. Scott, if you were running, would you run right now? If you were a former Shelby County Schools board member,
right.
If there was a 9-appointment board looming, would you run?
Oh, sure.
You would still run?
Yeah. To quote, what's the quote? If you're not at the table, you're not on the menu.
Okay, so my next question is,
You are on the menu, right.
does this,
You read it, huh?
is that appointment board are elected school board members losing their effectiveness with this 9-member appointment board?
Absolutely they are.
They are, and let me say this, there's a reluctance even from individuals who have been vetted or asked to be a part of the 9-member board.
That's
because
right.
they don't fully understand
That's
what
right.
the mission is, and getting involved in something that has come about in such a convoluted manner. It's not that we don't understand we need to improve the school system. That's a 100% goal that everybody has signed on to. But what does improvement look like? How do we get there? And what will be the metrics of evaluating this in the time to come so that we can either declare success or we can say we've not done a great job?
Yeah. And I've talked to one of those who was approached, and that person said exactly the same thing.
Wow.
No, thank you.
Oh, wow. So do we know anybody that is being up for consideration that you want to drop the T on today?
I think Scott's.
I have not been called. What was that line? If nominated, I will not run, and if elected, I will not serve.
Exactly.
Okay, gentlemen. All right, that's the story that keeps on giving. We're going to hear from this or on this topic a lot more to come. But when we come back, we're going to talk about a high schooler's immigration case and why the public No Kings protest discussions for it is now being handled privately. Stay with us.